Broncos with a big win. They won it 49-0, but the St. Mary's Knights just playing a team like Brophy, scheduling the great teams, that's just a sign of a really good program and some good things to come for Coach Lucero's group. Dalmasio, play action pass, rolls on the far side with some speed, throws on the run, the ball's going to be caught in the open field. You look at that arm strike by Dalmasio. He stopped there on the rollout, planted his feet, threw a strike down the field. Let's see what this penalty is all about, but this one could be coming back. That would negate a big-time play there for the Poston Butte Broncos. Let's get you. Line judge is Jamie Bly. The field judge is Andrew Tops. Our headlinesman tonight will be Scott Parker. The side judge here for tonight's contest here at Santan Valley is Max Heckel, and our back judge is Scott Fry, our AIA officiating crew, and it's a good one here out in the East Valley. We'll talk more about these guys as we move along. So they're going to give him the first down. It won't read in effect right there. That's a good read there by Dalmasio.
Just got out to that left side, put on some speed, put a little bit of a burst, but P.J. Lewis was right there to bring him.
Drew Dalmasio. The second level, it all starts with that center, Justin Fisher, 5'11", 195, and then that left tackle, Cade Alisa. This guy is a dude, 6'5", 340, Ed.
Easy when you have an offensive line like that. Easy for Octavius Joe to get through the holes that his offensive line creates for him, and then he can get in space. He can get in that second level of the defense and create havoc for the Knights defense.
Gain of 25. They turn, they give to Joe again. To the second level, he's going to take it in the end zone. He's going to score. Octavius Joe to the end zone from 14 yards away, working on that left side of the line of scrimmage. And bobbing and weaving defenders that time, and he was able to punch it in and score 6 points here at the 5:23 mark of this opening quarter here. Extra point pending, Ed.
Very solid drive for the Poston Butte Broncos to get it down there, just to drive down there on that Knights defense. Really good plays by Dalmasio. Octavius Joe running behind his offensive line. Again, his offensive line creating holes and creating havoc for that Knights defense.
Out of a Dalmasio opening quarter, it's Poston Butte 7 and the St. Mary's Knights 0. You are watching 4A Conference football on the Epic Sports Network. Welcome back to Poston, and that didn't take too long with some big plays in there, and then Octavius Joe punches it in.
Really good start for Joe in 2 weeks to get some scores like that and put Poston Butte up 7-0 here at home. That's a really good start for him. Hopefully we'll see what Coach can do on defense against.
Our special teams tackle was Austin Hammond, an outside linebacker at 5'7". That stop.
It's all about – go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, just to limit that return there on P.J. Lewis. So,
yeah,
and now back to work here is David Galindo, the regular quarterback of Gilmore. Just those kinds of things out of that strong safety position. Reading and reacting, Amari Gilmore shooting the gap and then getting that stop. A whole bunch of defenders there was the tailback. Luke Begol gets the carries on this drive to make the stop, and all-region second teamer out of the 4A Black Canyon. Just below the East Valley. Again, back to work. It's Coker out of the pistol. Runs left. Begul, the ball carrier, and up there to make the play is Mr. Nolan, and a 4A. So the 5'8", 155-pound junior, a little bit banged up. We'll keep an eye on him. Aiden Contreras will give way here. Second down, and we'll call it a long 3. Into that secondary, rumbling down the field with some speed and some power, Ed.
Cade Alisa, the left tackle. Thomas Luna, the left guard, opening up, again, more holes. Also give credit to
First and 10 from the 19-yard line. Once again, it's Poston Butte in the red. Reception was Austin Hammond. He is 5'7", 145-yard line. That was a gain of 15 yards here. They go to Joe running right this time, and he powers his way there. Esteban, things over with 31 seconds to go in the first stanza. It's 7-0. And a pretty good pace for this one, Ed.
Yeah, so far with the running game, that's what we talked about. You and I talked about it as we were coming in. These two teams love to run the football, so we were like, well, I wonder how quick this game is going to go if they continue at what they usually do, which is their MO, which is running the football. But Octavius Joe in this Poston Butte vision and the wherewithal to get through all those holes. So I like the way he runs the ball well.
52-28, but the Broncos only had 44 total plays, 2 yards to break the point of the goal line. It looks like he had...
get into the end zone and score. Good job of them just throwing white jerseys at him.
Cody of 1 quarter. Our score.
What's up? I'm Archie Bradley, and I am Pit Boss.
Archie Bradley! Are you kidding me?
Pit Boss Nation just brought in the beard. Setup man and your closer. Slide in safely with a hot and fast grill job, or go deep with the low and slow cook with petition. From the Pit Boss family to yours, let's get to work.
Welcome back to Poston Butte High School. We move to the other end of the field. It's Dalmacio under center at the turn and the give. It's the second quarter. It's 13-0, 11:57 to go till halftime. And we await our point after try here for Mr. Castaneda.
Wow, that couldn't have been easy to have an O-line that does that for him and makes it so.
On the sweep this time, it's Luke Begol, and there is all kinds of traffic in the backfield there. I believe that Andre Banks-Taylor was one of the guys that got there, a linebacker, 5'10", 185. He's a senior. And you know who else was in on the area?
Let me guess.
I believe it was Mr. Gilmore.
Okay, yeah. Number 7.
Shoot the gap.
Sure. It's not good
Right
for the
there.
night.
Andre Banks, we just heard that from the PA announcer, which confirms my initial reaction. A 6-yard TFL for Mr. Banks-Taylor. Back to work here is David Galendo. His target all by himself over the secondary and Sheldon Landis-Koo. Gain of 37 yards for the St. Mary's Knights. 1st and 10. St. Mary's down by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points here. 11 minutes to go in this second quarter. That was a nice throw there by Galendo, Ed.
It was. Good offensive line protection. Galendo had all that time in the world. Really, really nice.
39, maybe the 29-yard line. A nice 4-yard carry there for St. Mary's, playing with a little confidence. Playing that tight formation of the night. He picks that hole on the right side, running up the hash mark. Pistol formation, kind of just hesitate, pause.
The body to do it.
As they coach it. And a lot of misdirection and change of action there for St. Mary's up front.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness of the offense right now. Jose Lucero, the head coach, is drawing up some really good plays. They're getting
Or at least strung out for no gain, and then somehow he was able to tiptoe around that defense and pick up positive yardage.
That's exactly what I was looking at. It's always tough with those option plays because if you got a really fast defense, that fast defense can counteract what you're trying to do when you're trying to run that option.
It's Galendo with a snap, and Galendo's going to fall into the end zone for a touchdown. And on to kick for St. Mary's is Ethan Crowell. He'll get the place kicking chores here. Out of a hole to P.J. Lewis. Here comes the rush, and the kick is up and right through the upright. This hole, it's 14-7 now with 6:26 to go. And Ed, these two coaches, nothing but mutual respect and admiration for one another.
Yes, their programs, they had nothing but kind words and loving words to say of each other. It's all about a brotherhood here in the high school football ranks. So for Coach Thompson, he just loves on Jose Lucero, the head coach for St. Mary's, and how great he is, and how he's running his program. And Lucero had nothing but the same kind of words to say in kind for Dane Thompson for Poston Butte. He loves what he's doing here with the Broncos here in Santan Valley.
It was fun because when we were talking to Coach Lucero pregame, I mentioned his stint at Desert Edge, a long-time stint there, and then of course he was the front man at North Canyon for I believe 1 year. So we were doing the North Canyon PV game last week, so it was fun to talk about that with Coach Lucero. All right, teeing it up. This time it is going to be Joseph Begol, and he's going to send it deep into the near sideline, and getting bumped off the play here. The special teams play on the return by Poston Butte. That was Keith Gray, and I believe he ran into one of his own defenders or one of his own blockers on that special team sequence.
He was taken down by number 9, Elijah Garcia.
So with the spot help, it was Elijah Garcia with the credited tackle, but I believe he was the one in the nearest vicinity as Gray got bumped off the play by one of his own men. An all-region second-team performer, Keith Gray, 29 yards on a reception against St. Mary's when these first two teams played last year in the playoffs. So this is the second meeting amongst these two schools. Now working left to right is Drew Dalmacio. He'll take this one under center now. 5 down linemen executed to perfection by Coach Lucero's defense. Up there to sniff everything out was 4A all-region performer Henry Fierro. Fierro, 6 foot, 260. He is a big body in the middle there. You talk about someone that can clog that running game.
Absolutely. Henry Fierro was there. Also number 32, John Munoz, one of the linebackers, was also in there to help Fierro make that stop.
So no gain for Octavius Joe. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Lick
He was met by number 24.
On Justin Evans. Outstanding open field tackle. This one with authority.
That was a really good shot, but Octavius taking that shot, that bone separator, kind of not a decleater. It was close to a decleater, but that was a really good shot by Aguayo on Joe.
Some toughness right there by Joe, and going nowhere this time again. Tremendous defense, Galindo. So the quarterback over there making a great tackle there on Octavius Joe. What he has to do, not only run the offense, but then go out there and try to defend guys like Octavius Joe who have big-time speed, 4.4 type speed. That is a tough act. 2nd down and 10. Dalmacio on the rollout. Stops, plants, throws. The ball by St. Mary's. Chris Horn the second.
Yeah, it really did hang up too high. If he would have put a little bit more mustard on that, it may have been a completion. But for it to hang up there in the Arizona night like that, that can really spell trouble for you if you're the Broncos off.
Tan Valley on military appreciation. And that was all Lopez. He
To continue to fight off those defenders and get all those extra yards. And there's a flag, Kevin.
There is a penalty marker down, and it's going to be a holding call against Poston Butte, and this one's going to come back. So a couple of big-time penalties here have cost the Broncos. 4:08 to go. It's 14-7. Good ball game. This was the final score of that first meeting just a year ago. We talk about St. Mary's, founded in 1917. So much history, a storied history at that. Pat Farrell was their head coach for so many years, a legendary coach. Ed Doherty, of course. We'll talk about Ed here throughout the ball game, but at one point for St. Mary's, they had a coach for 30 years named Pat. Pat Lavin or Pat Farrell. Just outstanding.
And it's funny how you ask Coach Lucero, well, is your middle name Pat?
They set up a screen. It looked like he was trying to hit.
I think he was trying to hit Octavius Joe, Kevin.
It looked like, Gray made the reception.
Yeah.
Joe was running one of those wheel routes, and I thought that Joe was the intended target, but Gray would force a punting situation. Back deep is P.J. Lewis, and in punt formation for Poston Butte. Touch, but they've been methodical running the football, taking their time, using some clock, and then mixing.
Know what you can do offensively as far as running the ball.
High tower on the tackle for the Broncos.
Up here tonight, so we're just
Personal
keeping the
foul.
game flow.
A penalty against the Broncos, giving them extra field position.
Free 15, Aiden Contreras sideline. Ethan Crowell
Number 1 Crowell.
got the
There's the flag on the play.
handoff, and we'll see. The good thing about the PA announcer, he's above us, Ed, so he's got some pretty good eyes. I think he has a spotter as well, so on that line, there is another penalty marker down, but on that previous play, they called the foul, picked up that flag, and moved the ball without even really skipping a beat, Ed. It was so swift. Natural turf out here in Santan Valley at Poston Butte High School, which is kind of a dying breed now. As you look around high school athletics, you see so many synthetic turfs, and you love the fast tracks, the low maintenance, but I still appreciate and value the natural turf and that smell and that feel of natural grass, Ed.
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing.
Out in the secondary. Making a nice catch, going up in the air and hauling that one in was P.J. Lewis as two defenders drag him out of bounds. But Galindo playing linebacker and quarterback, getting some breathers there when the team has the offense, when they've got the football, and that time he's going to be the guy that's going to throw the football.
Galindo rolls out to his right, sees P.J. Lewis out there, lofts it up there where only number 10 P.J. can catch that ball. P.J. extends his arms, makes that catch. Really good pitch and catch, completion from Galindo.
So the ball is now in Poston Butte territory. We'll call it the 44-yard line as they have another discussion, and the head linesman here tonight is Scott Parker. Glad you're going to be part of the Epic Sports Broadcast Network here on Thursday Night Football. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. James Poovey will join us here at halftime. Good ball game here. Next Thursday night, the team will be on the road once again out in Vail, Tucson. It'll be South Point Catholic and Cienega. We'll have all the action for you right here on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network, beginning at 6:55 or at 6:50 or at 7 o'clock or whenever. But we'll have it for you. The idea will be we will be on air at 6:50 from Vail, Tucson. Gorgeous part of the southern part of the state, down south. First night of the National Football League big games tonight here, the 2021 camp.
Prescott so far 30 of 41, 204.
Took it himself and took it up the middle, and now he's having a O'Shea, a 7 here, as they make some substitutions. P.J. Lewis will give way here in favor of, so no 30 listed for St. Mary's. Designed to run inside and running right, then he cut it back left, did a nice job there. The old jump cut, cut back, found some real estate. Penalty marker comes in again for Poston Butte, shaking up on the player, at least slow to get up.
Well, I think they called holding against the defense.
And so first and 10 on the 14. Soraya Henry, Dane Thompson took a timeout to, much like the post.
To get that flea flicker from Crowell and complete that pass to number 18, Andrew Cannon. Yeah, very nice play. I like that play call right there.
And it was a flip to Crowell at its finest. Nice job there. So 60 seconds to go. We've got a brand new ball game here, Ed. It's St. Mary's 14 and the Poston Butte Broncos 14. These guys just picked up where they left off last year in that playoff game in a 14-7 contest. And here we go again a year later, and they're going right back at each other, 14-14 now as we approach the break.
A really quick moving first half with all the running that's going on right now, but that they pull out that trickeration, that play right there, that flea flicker. I really like that. That was something you thought they would continue to run the ball, but they said no. We're going to do a little something different right now. We're going to pull something
and a lot of juice. So for St. Mary's, they'll just play the field position game as Joseph Bigul kicks this one out of here.
35 with 1 minute of play.
So 1 minute left, Kevin. Do you think the Broncos continue to push the ball down the field, try to get another score right before the half?
I think if you're Dane Thompson, you want to
just take it to the half?
Have some ball security. I like to be aggressive here, take some chances, but just be smart. They go to Joe, and Joe runs that sweep with some patience. Big is going to be intended for the target, Joe, and they're going to give him. The ball was slightly underthrown, and Lopez had to go up there.
Interception. He had 2 interceptions last season. That would have been another interception for PJ. If not, Kevin said that Connor Lopez turned into that defensive back and knocked the ball away. Really good play by number 10, Lopez.
Outstanding play by Lopez. That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have any more mistakes here. But if you can get yourself another 30 yards here, you might have an outside shot at a field goal here. So 14-14 tie. Octavius Joe is lined up to the left of Dalmacio. They throw a screen over the middle for Lopez, and Lopez bounces it outside. He's in the secondary, and Lopez is going to be grabbed around the 35-yard line with the tackle on Connor Lopez. We talk about execution of plays and play calling. Looked like a tight end screen over the middle, perfectly executed. Great.
He gets that. He starts turning up the field. That's when he turns on his jets right there. He gets his strength right there, and it's hard for those defenders to bring down at you and knows where he wants to go. Exactly. He is determined to get the ball down the field, get the team as close as possible, and get them closer to scoring here with 11 seconds left before the half.
Drew Dalmacio to Connor Lopez, gain of 16 yards. They move the chains. Their ball's at the 35-yard line when Poston Butte took the timeout. So with 11 seconds to go, you got to believe that Coach Thompson wants to get the football right near the 20, 25-yard line for at least a field goal opportunity here. So Octavius Joe will check in. Also checking in is Amari Gilmore. Gilmore lines up to the slot, make it the X spot on the far side. Joe's flanked to the right of Dalmacio. 11 seconds to go till halftime. Back to throw for Dalmacio. Has all kinds of time. He throws right, and the ball is nearly picked off. Going for Lopez once again, but the secondary converging in on the play. David Galindo, a linebacker over there with a pass breakup for that kid. And right now, David Galindo is having himself a whale of a first half for the St. Mary's Knights.
Yes, he is. Almost intercepting that pass by Dalmacio. That was a dangerous pass, trying to complete it to Connor Lopez over the middle. Galindo read that play perfectly. Almost perfectly. If he would have been perfect, he would have intercepted the ball. But still, for him to jump that route and at least knock the ball away, excellent play by 25.
6 seconds to go. If you're Coach Thompson now, Ed, do you go for the Hail Mary? You throw something towards the end zone? Or
Yeah, 6 seconds left. Just toss it up in the end zone. You do have one timeout left if you do complete it and you're able to call a timeout.
Octavius Joe to the left. He throws left. The ball's caught. It's a hook and ladder, and the ball's on the carpet. And it looks like the St. Mary's Knights, they say they've got the football. Either way, it's the final play of half number one. So Dalmacio to Connor Lopez with the catch, and then he tried to go with that hook and ladder to Octavius Joe coming around the corner, and the St. Mary's Knights were there because the transition on the pitch was unsuccessful. That ball was free, and this is how we go to the break here, Ed.
No harm, no foul. Got to try something. 6 seconds left. Worst case scenario, you turn the ball over and you just take it to the half. As long as you don't let the Knights go down and score off of you, again, no harm, no foul, just a turnover.
Very entertaining first half here on our score. The St. Mary's Knights 14, the Poston Butte Broncos 14.
Our world and our kids are changing every day. It's hard not to wonder what their lives will be like. Will they like their job? Will they find true love? Will they be the best at something? Will they be the worst at something? Will they be nice? Will people be nice to them? Parenting sure is full of mysteries, huh? That's why at the little gym, everything
check,
we do
1 2
is
check
designed
check
to make
1
sure
2
kids are
check 1
ready.
2 now
Ready to learn.
I want to keep moving back down towards
Ready
the field.
for takeoff.
Okay,
Ready to
I'm
rock.
going to keep moving. We'll see if it still works.
Ready to roll.
Check 1
And
2
ready to shake it off and keep going. Our classes are based on lesson plans designed to get kids of all ages moving, boost their brain power, and with an emphasis on social and emotional learning, even improve the people skills they'll need for tomorrow, today. We call it three-dimensional learning. Kids just call it fun. More than a kid's gym, the little gym is a springboard for life's adventures. And every day we're making, energizing, and inspiring whatever ready kids.
Fire and smoke, engineering and technology. Elevate your grilling passion with the next chapter in barbecue. 2 new units join the Platinum Series line. The Brunswick Wood Pellet Vertical Smoker. The Laredo 1000 Wood Pellet Grill and Smoker. Equipped with the Pit Boss Smoke IT connectivity, integrated with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth control. The next chapter in barbecue is here, and it is bigger, hotter, heavier, and now smarter. The Pit Boss Platinum Series, available exclusively at Walmart.
A lot of times we find that people love their neighborhoods. Their home just really needs an update. It needs to grow with them as their family grows, and that's where we can come in. Our home remodeling services are really turnkey, all the way from planning stages, design, architecture, city permits, and we will stand side by side with you to create the home that you really dream of. You want to choose Trinity Homes AZ for your new construction because we have over 30 years of experience. All of our subcontractors, everyone on our team is local, and because of that, we can build your home efficiently, on budget, and on time. Building a new constructed home is a little bit different than your typical remodel. We can work side by side with you and the municipalities or your HOA to make sure that we design it to fit within the requirements. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that our clients get what they want.
Taylor's Pools. You can trust Taylor to take great care of your pool and ensure your complete satisfaction. From weekly cleanings to one-time cleanings, from pool draining to pool refilling, he does it all. Green to clear transformations, repairs, and new equipment installations. Trust your pool to Taylor's Pools. Call 623-200-2788. That's 623-200-2788. Taylor's Pools, a proud partner of Thursday Night Football.
My name is Slade Gibson, owner of Trinity Homes AZ.
My name is Becky Gibson. I'm co-owner and lead designer.
We started Trinity Homes in a leap of faith back in 2004. After working for many other builders, we had decided to go ahead and start our own company so we could really work with the clients and have the same type of values that we do in our family. Our mission here at Trinity Homes AZ is to work side by side with each customer, making their home become their dream.
A common theme with our company is that we are not only building homes, but we're building relationships. And in the end, that's very important to us.
We have over 30 years of experience here at Trinity Homes, all the way from our project managers, our superintendents, our lead design. We can serve each and every client with their specific needs.
What's up? I'm Archie Bradley, and I am Pit Boss.
Archie Bradley! Are you kidding me?
Pit Boss Nation just brought in the beard. Bring the heat with bigger, hotter, and heavier grilling. You do want this smoke. With 8-in-1 cooking versatility, Pit Boss is your starter, setup man, and your closer. Slide in safely with a hot and fast grill job, or go deep with the low and slow cook. With the best value on the market, Pit Boss strikes out the competition. From the Pit Boss family to yours, let's get to work.
Welcome back to Poston Butte High School on the campus of the Poston Butte Broncos out here in Santan Valley on Military Appreciation Night on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. And Ed, we were locked into a 14-14 tie. They just put up 3 minutes on the scoreboard so the guys can get stretched out on this really, really warm evening. But you look at the execution of the play calling here, and both these squads have executed some gadgetry, a little trickeration. They've been very deceptive towards each other here, but they've answered the challenge.
They have been, but we know the MO of these two football teams, which is to run the football, and we've seen that in the first half. And Poston Butte went up 14-0, and St. Mary's had a rally of their own. They scored 14 straight points to tie this game at 14. Of course, we know what happened last November with St. Mary's coming here to this very building, winning 14-7. So we know it's all about defensive struggles and battles and fights when it comes to these two football teams squaring up.
And I think Coach Thompson talked about how St. Mary's scored in those playoff games, and it was really they felt as though that some of those were kind of lucky plays, and that they weren't going to be able to do that a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
offensively, and he's done things from the outside linebacking position. So it's.
I'm not even going there yet, Ed.
I know.
We're talking offense.
You're sticking strictly offense. I'm just thinking of the two-way player. You want to think of the one-sided of the two-way player? Okay, let's go offensively. Yes, Galindo's passed the ball really well, and of course he's got some really good running. Galindo's ran the ball really well, and his offensive line is giving him time to sit back there and complete passes and allowing him to get some runs. Ethan Crowell, Luke Bagul, Jacob Coker, all these guys to get some runs. So give credit to the offensive line and the play calling by the Knights to get those scores and rally back from a 14-point deficit.
And then after all that, then you talk about David Galindo, the defensive player. He's been back there in the secondary, batting balls down. He's had a pass breakup. He just laid out a ball carrier. He's had himself he's left a pretty significant imprint on this football field in half number one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 5'10", 200. Galindo just gets it done out that linebacking spot in the quarterback position. We talk about how well these young men will sleep tonight. Galindo, when he gets home, he's going to sleep well tonight because of that two-way strength and the passion that he brings to this Knights football team from a linebacking spot and the lead as the QB1.
Eddie, what do you look for in the second half here in a 14-14 ball game? If you're Coach Dane Thompson and you want to, you need someone else to step up for you. Of course, your quarterback Drew Dalmasio has been able to make a couple plays, but it's really about Octavius Joe. I feel like they need to get this guy 10 to 15 touches here in the second half and just see what he can do with the football, whether it's in space, trying to get him in space, end arounds, whatever the case may be. They need to find a way. Screen passes. I'd like to see him run a couple of screens. With all that misdirection and deception, I just think that Octavius Joe needs to have a big second half for Poston Butte to get in the win column.
I agree. When you've got a talent like that of Octavius Joe back there in your backfield as the RB1, you've got to be able to get that ball to him, feed your beast, and let him continue to do things from a running back standpoint. And also, you've got to get number 10 Connor Lopez involved, the 6'4" tight end.
Amari Gilmer is back deep, and they go to the up man. This time it's Octavius Joe. Joe makes the catch and then works up the near sideline. And he's finally belted out of bounds by the St. Mary's Knights. It looked like special teamer came up to make that play. That was Jacob Lopez, a 5'9", 175-pound linebacker. Nice player there on special teams. But you curious about the kicking game and the choice for Coach Lucero to try to kick the ball out of bounds, at least limit the returns here for this Poston Butte return game.
Yeah, because Octavius Joe is so dangerous, as we saw in that kickoff return, and it gets them in really good field position at the 35-yard line. That sets up the Broncos in excellent field position. They've got, 35-yard line. It's a really good starting position for that offense.
So here comes Dane Thompson, the region coach of the year in the 4A Black Canyon region. He's got Dalmasio taking the snaps. They run it on a little bit of a delay. And on the return, this is Octavius Joe, and I was just trying to catch the wording on the back of these jerseys. We saw it early on, but every player has a different message on the back of their jersey as Bergul comes up to make that tackle there on Octavius Joe. Gain of 2, but I believe I saw service out there on the back of one of the players. We see some great terms there. You've got service and integrity, commitment.
I remember honor was one of them.
Honor is another one.
Yes.
Again, it's Military Appreciation Night. Poston Butte wearing their camouflage type uniforms. You know they're pumped up to wear those uniforms, right?
Oh, absolutely. To honor our military and show them some love, our current military veterans and our current military and our former veterans.
Dalmacio gets them lined up. They run a sweep to Octavius Joe. Big hole up the middle. He's in the second level. 50, 45, 40, 30. One man to beat. 10. And he is going to be brought down inside the 5-yard line. Penalty marker comes in, thrown by the field judge. Looked like a face mask right there. But Octavius Joe nearly housing one here. Great delay. Again, tremendous blocking up front. And then Octavius Joe did the rest with that speed.
The young man you talked about, the key to victory for Poston Butte, on display right there. Number 3, Octavius Joe, getting that break-off speed. He gets to that outside, and he's almost impossible to stop. Chris Horn, the second, brought him down near the end zone. I'm sure that'll be a penalty on him, as he was the one to make that tackle, and the flag came out on that. So we'll see if that was indeed a face mask.
Unofficially 63-yard scamper right there. You talk about some scoots for Octavius Joe. Outstanding play. They're going to come up with a horse collar tackle, so it'll be half the distance here. First and goal to go here for Drew Dalmacio and the Broncos. Under center, the turn, the give to the tailback, and scoring a touchdown. His second of the evening is Octavius Joe. Punching it in for 6 points. And the new score is now 20-14. Extra point upcoming here. We talked about it there at the break. Can you get the ball into the hands of number 3, Octavius Joe? And it's almost as if we were in that coach's box calling some plays right there, Ed. They did just that.
Oh, do we have a second career as coaches maybe?
It's possible.
Possible.
We've done it long enough. Give us a headset, throw us up in the box, and let's see what we can't do. Out of a Dalmacio hole, the Castaneda point after try is right down the middle. 10:36 to go till halftime. Our score, Poston Butte 21, St. Mary's 14. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
Taylor's Pools. You can trust Taylor to take great care of your pool and ensure your complete satisfaction. From weekly cleanings to one-time cleanings, from pool draining to pool refilling, he does it all. Green to clear transformations, repairs, and new equipment installations. Trust your pool to Taylor's Pools. Call 623-200-2788. That's 623-200-2788. Taylor's Pools, a proud partner of Thursday Night Football.
Welcome back to Poston Butte High School. Just looking over the numbers here briefly here. First quarter touchdown for Octavius Joe, a 14-yard run. Octavius Joe, a short TD run. That was good from 1 yard away. And then his third one here, after it was set up by a long run, a 63-yarder, it was another 1 yard touchdown run there by Octavius Joe. His third rushing touchdown of the night for number 3. How about number 3, Octavius Joe? A hat trick here tonight for the Broncos. Out to kick is Lucas Potter. Back deep this time for St. Mary's. It's Atkinson. Out past the 20, 25. Lowers his shoulder to the 30-yard line. He's going to be taken out right there. Nice return there by Atkinson. A host of tacklers there for the Broncos. Looks like Ulysses Nick-O'Shea in there with the tackle on special teams. But as they've done 2 times before now, trailing by a couple of touchdowns, we've seen St. Mary's rally back. This time they're only down by a touchdown. But they like to play from behind a little bit here, and they just have answered the challenge.
You can play from behind only so long. Eventually, you've got to be able to overtake your opponent. So if the Knights can go down here and score, let's see what they can do defensively.
Jacob Coker starts the second half at quarterback. The pitch to Ethan Crowell as he makes one move, sheds a tackler, and then turns upfield on the far hash mark. But the Bronco defense right there to string out the play. Nice job there up front for Poston Butte. Double fives, Antonio Sarbo getting in on the act, a 5'11", 200-pounder, a senior. Had a tackle last week. So give Crowell a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 from the 32-yard line. Once again, the St. Mary's Knights 0-1 on this young season. Trying to come back to where they last won their ball game a year ago. They go back up the middle again for Crowell, and Crowell's finding running room there. And he finally gets bumped off the play and ridden down to the turf. Get a couple late whistles here. Somebody lost a hat. losing his hat.
That's the left tackle, number 78, Philip Mashew.
Philip Mashew lost his hat, the left tackle. Mashew had 2 tackles last week. A 4A all-region performer, Philip Mashew.
Poston Butte got called for a face mask on that.
So once again, we get the stealth mode of the officials. No preliminary indications. Usually that's where I pick up all the intelligence as it relates to the fouls here. So the umpire will walk this one off some 15 yards, and then the referee behind the play gives you the indication after the fact. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line. And let's call it what it is. The Bronco penalties have aided the St. Mary's drives on not once, not twice, but 3 occasions now.
Absolutely.
Now they have the ball inside Bronco territory. We'll call it the 47-yard line for Coker. Coker, the turn to give, and he's just going to give it up to Crowell, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Excellent job up front there. Back-to-back tackles now for 55, Antonio Sarbo. So Sarbo starting to feel it just a little bit, shooting the gap there, and disruptive as he is in that backfield there. Give him a TFL for Antonio Sarbo. So that'll be 2nd down and 12 on the 49-yard line of the Poston Butte Broncos. Again, bunched up with the formation is Coker. In the backfield with Coker was Lorenzo Hernandez. And this is a sweep to Crowell. Tries to turn it up the field, and he's going to get brought down again. Another impressive defensive play by the Broncos defense. Their leading tackler, or second leading tackler last year, all-conference second teamer Riley Nolan over there to make the tackle. Working on making a 7-tackle game last week, but they try to run that sweep, but the Broncos there waiting for it this time, Ed.
Yeah, Nolan shoots that gap and brings down Crowell. When Crowell thought he was going to get some extra yards, number 45 shot in there and brought him down right there. He was like, hello, here I am.
Here comes the playmaker, number 25, David Galindo. Look for them to throw the football here. Play action pass. Drops back with some time. Plenty of protection. Throws the ball deep. It's a jump ball for P.J. Lewis. And P.J. Lewis is going to come down with it inside the 20-yard line. Galindo hung it up there long enough for Lewis to high point it, out-wrestle the defender, and bring it down for a huge gain.
Boy, Kevin, that one hung up again in the Arizona night. You just thought that could have possibly been interception, but for P.J. Lewis to extend over there and just shield off that cornerback and make that catch, that was a phenomenal acrobatic, athletic catch by P.J. to bring that ball down there. Great throw from Galindo and great catch, an even greater catch by Lewis.
Gain of 33 yards on the pass play. Galindo to P.J. Lewis. They move the chains again, and now inside the red zone once again are the Knights trailing by 7 points. They run inside to the inside man, the running back, Luke Begul. Begul, 5'11", 185 pounds there. Again, that change of direction, that deception there, but this time they had some success there. Again, these guys are running so low to the ground, 5'11". He's one of the bigger guys in that 5'7" backfield that they share with a couple guys back there.
Yeah, Kevin Crowell's 5'8", Begul, as you mentioned, 5'11", Jacob Coker's 5'8". They got some really, really little guys. Luke Atkinson's also 5'9", so they're so low to the ground.
Here comes the 5'10", David Galindo. Takes the snap, runs up the middle behind the blockers, and he gets upended as he approaches the 5-yard line. I think he's going to be stopped short of the 5. We'll mark it at the 7-yard line. Clock rolling inside 7 minutes ago. 21-14, and actually they stop the clock. Now they do wind it up again. So the ball looks like it's going to be placed
Knights pick up the first down
on the
1st and goal from the 7.
We'll call it the 7-yard line. 1st and goal to go for St. Mary's here. Just another methodical drive with that play fake, and then Galindo down the field to P.J. Lewis set this one up. Lyman packed to the bunch. Play fake. Galindo's going to throw the football again. He throws, and the ball is right on the money, and it's caught at the 6-yard line. Making the reception for the Knights was Chris Horn, the second.
Chris Horn on the reception for the Knights. He's brought down by number 2, Keith Gray.
Keith Gray right there with the tackle immediately. Nice job there defending the pass play there by Keith Gray. No advancement there. In fact, it'll be just a 1-yard pass play. Wholesale changes upcoming here for Jose Lucero and the Knights from St. Mary's. They graduated Liam Phelan a year ago, an all-region performer, an outstanding ball carrier. Over 1,700 yards rushing in his career. He's gone now. 2nd and goal from the 6 for David Galindo. There goes Crowell in motion. It's a pitch to Crowell in space, trying to get to the edge. Here comes the pressure. He cuts back in, spins, loses the football, and the ball is going to be caught by the lineman. He's going to score a touchdown. Unbelievable play as Crowell got drilled, fumbled the football, and it was a perfect bounce into the hands of Adrian Villegas, and he crosses the plane of the goal line for a touchdown in a absolute weird, wild, and wacky play. How often do you see the lineman score a touchdown like that?
That's really one of those unorthodox plays you talk about, Kevin. Those are plays that very rarely come up, but Crowell gets popped, and Villegas is Johnny on the spot, as we always mention that guy, Johnny on the spot right there to actually catch that ball and get into the end zone. Could have been a disastrous turnover for the Knights down there in Poston Butte territory.
Good snap, good hold, and a great kick there by Ethan Crowell. So Crowell gets blasted on the far side. You talk about a gratuitous bounce right there into the hands of Adrian Villegas, and he scores probably his first touchdown of his young career. After the point after try by Crowell, it's good. 5:29 to go in this third quarter. St. Mary's 21, Poston Butte 21. You are watching 4A Conference football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Poston Butte High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. 21-21 tie with 5:29 to go in this third quarter. You talk about a bang-bang play. One of those weird, wild, and wacky ones, as I mentioned again. But that's just zany, Ed. Zany.
It is very zany. And both of these scores in the second half, we're seeing how crazy and zany this second half is as Poston Butte gets a Octavius Joe touchdown run, set off of a long touchdown run by him. So St. Mary's comes back with a Galindo long pass play to P.J. Lewis. So it's been about the long play setting up the scores so far for PB and STM. So it's been a crazy third quarter so far as we still have 5:29 left in this quarter, Kevin.
Wow, Ed, and the first time tonight I saw the back judge indicate illegal procedure. So they are making the indications as whether or not we're going to catch them or not. So teeing up the football on the far side, or make it in between the middle now, the hash marks on the 35-yard line is Joseph Begul, and we get another penalty marker here. The back judge once again throws the flag, so that's going to back St. Mary's up 5 yards, an additional 5 yards. St. Mary's High School was the first Catholic high school in Arizona. The green and white faced Brophy Prep last Friday night at Central High. It was the first meeting in 12 years. Brophy has defeated St. Mary's by scores of 63-0, 58-6, and last week 49-0. That game was sold out, so a credit to the fan base and the communities that went out there. And really, that's how it should be, Ed. I mean, you want to sell that place out, play the tough games on your schedule, and play rivalry games. It's just what's great for high school football.
It's that simple, yeah. You want to play those rivalry games. You want to have some meaningful games to start off the regular season.
Oh, this one's fumbled out of bounds, so Bergul finally kick one down the field. And for Amari Gilmore, he fumbled that one. It goes out of bounds, and that is where Poston Butte will take over the football here. And they'll bring out Drew Dalmasio and that young man, Octavius Joe.
So the question is for the Knights defense, who's going to be that guy or guys to step up and stop number 3? Because you know Dalmasio is going to look for number 3 over and over again because of what he's done so far. He's got 3 touchdowns. He had that long 63-yard run that you and I just called just a few moments ago to set up his scoring drive. So who's going to step up defensively and shut down number 3 and get to number 15, Drew Dalmasio, and make it hard for him?
I'm going to say David Galindo. There goes an end around to the second level. Down the sideline is Dalmasio into St. Mary's territory. Almost a naked boot right there, Ed, as some Poston Butte players come up a little cramping here. Unofficially, a 38-yard run for Dalmacio. And just like that, on one play, Poston Butte is back in business here, on the hunt once again here.
Okay, so they are in the mood for long plays in the second half with the Joe run, and now the Drew Dalmacio near 40-yard run here. So they've made some adjustments offensively. They went in the locker room and said, okay, we're going to throw this out here at you, Knights defense. We're going to throw this at you, Knights defense. See if you can stop us.
Ball spotted on the 43-yard line. Poston Butte, 300 yards rushing last year. That was 6th in the 4A conference. St. Mary's, on the other hand, 276. Dalmacio's loose again. Tries to turn the corner at the 40, 35, and he'll just run out of bounds. In pursuit for St. Mary's was Thomas Swingle. Swingle had 6 tackles in that previous playoff matchup against Poston Butte a year ago. So a nice gain there by Dalmacio. He's got loose on 2 consecutive carries there. Picking up some rushing yardage, almost 50 yards rushing now for Dalmacio, maybe a little bit over than that, but this is a swift-moving third quarter here. Only 5 minutes and 2 seconds to go in a 21-21 tie, Ed.
Kev, give credit to both of these offensive lines, allowing both of these running attacks to get loose like that. Give credit to the big fellas down in the trenches for doing their work.
The trench work has been phenomenal here tonight, no question about it. Lining up to the far side for Poston Butte was 81. That's Cooler Hightower. 2 wide receivers to the left. They run another sweep to Octavius Joe. Breaks 1 tackle. Tries to shed another one, and he'll take tacklers out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Octavius Joe starting to get those legs turning and running downhill a little bit, and that's what Poston Butte needs. They need to get that guy the football as many times as they can, and if you get him in space, that's a bonus for the Broncos.
Absolutely.
But he's shown that he can run on the inside. You know, you talk about running in between the tackles in Octavius Joe. They run sweeps and they run away quite a bit. But he's also shown the propensity to have success inside the line right there. In between the tackles. 1st and 10 from the St. Mary's 29-yard line. Dalmacio under center. Long count. He gives it to Joe on the inside, and there's nowhere to go at all. David Galindo right there to meet him. So David Galindo meet Octavius Joe. Put the thump on him right there. Also next to Galindo was Henry Fierro, the 4A All-Region performer. The St. Mary's Knights defense being challenged here in the middle, and they're accepting the challenge, Ed Cole.
At least for that challenge, they did bring down Joe. So it does take 2 people. It does take a Fierro and a Galindo to bring down such a dangerous runner in Octavius Joe. You've got to be able to swarm to this guy, throw bodies in front of him, and bring him down. Otherwise, he could get loose, and he'll be off to the races like he was last drive.
That was a Galindo TFL. 2nd and 11 for the 30-yard line. They go up the middle again, and it's tough sledding one more time in the interior. Running in between the tackles now is Octavius Joe, but there's been no real estate at all because David Galindo was there.
Along with Mario Coronado.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado at 5'9", 235. He's another big boy in the middle. But you asked me about a series ago who's going to step up defensively for St. Mary's, and I gave you David Galindo. And David Galindo has had himself a whale of a game. Right now, to this point, he is our player of the game here. Win or lose, he's been remarkable.
I agree, absolutely.
And I think Octavius Joe with 3 touchdowns might have something to say about that as well. Dalmacio on the play fake, has time, throws over the middle of the field, and the ball is going to be caught in stride, and somehow maintaining his sense of balance and falling forward is that man again, Octavius Joe. Outstanding play right there, as the PA announcer described it as low center of gravity, and that is right on point. As I indicated to you in the live call that he had lost his balance and found a way to push forward there. Falling forward for positive yardage inside the 10-yard line now is Poston Butte. That was unofficially a gain of 25 yards. Octavius Joe have himself a contest. Joe's the lone back behind Dalmacio. The turn to give to, this is going to be Dalmacio. He's going to keep it. He's going to skip out of 1 tackle and then hop towards the 5-yard line. He's going to get dropped right there by P.J. Lewis. So great deception up front. Perhaps our cameraman got deked on that one for just a second, but that is outstanding work on the interior there by the St. Mary's Knights.
Dalmacio thought he could do some stutter steps and some kind of moves to shake P.J. Lewis, but P.J. Lewis just stayed right there. He played his role, stayed in his lane, and brought down Dalmacio. Really good defensive play call, a defensive play there by number 10.
Joe again. Joe breaks a tackle, and Octavius Joe is going to break the plane of the goal line and score a touchdown. Number 4 on the night for number 3, Octavius Joe. 1:48 to go in the third quarter. Extra point try upcoming here. It's now 27-21 Poston Butte, all behind the strength of Octavius Joe, his 4th rushing touchdown of the night.
Give Joe credit on this drive. Big credit. Give Dalmacio really big credit on this drive. The offensive line, of course, making it all happen, allowing Dalmacio and Joe to get their big, long plays going off there and get that score to put them up by 7.
Is true again.
For Poston Butte, Juan Castaneda hits the point after try. 1:48 to go in this third quarter. Poston Butte 28, St. Mary's 21. You're watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
Fire and smoke, engineering and technology. Elevate your grilling passion with the next chapter in barbecue. 2 new units join the Platinum Series line. The Brunswick Wood Pellet Vertical Smoker. The Laredo 1000 Wood Pellet Grill and Smoker. Equipped with the Pit Boss Smoke IT connectivity, integrated with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth control. The next chapter in barbecue is here, and it is bigger, hotter, heavier, and now smarter. The Pit Boss Platinum Series, available exclusively at Walmart.
To Lewis. To the 25-yard line, and gets drilled there. Penalty marker coming in.
22-10 on the reverse.
Welcome back to Poston Butte High School here in Santan Valley. Kevin Derryberry with Ed Cole. 28-21. Poston Butte has just forged ahead on the 4th touchdown run of the night for Octavius Joe. Have himself a sensational evening. And if you were listening to the broadcast earlier and said, hey, easy on giving that player the game award out, yeah, I'm with you there. At that juncture is when we said it. David Galindo has been outstanding, and quite frankly, it wouldn't be crazy to have 2 guys or both of those players be the players of the game. Both of them have been deserving.
Oh, absolutely.
Let us know where you're watching tonight's game from. Hit me at KDB Voice with the hashtag roll call. Where are you watching tonight's game from around this great globe of ours here in the great state 48, across this great land of ours, the United States of America? St. Mary's, they'll go back to Coker in the backfield. High snap, and they go back to Crowell, and he's going to get jacked to the backfield. Tremendous play for the Poston Butte Broncos. This time, over there to make the play was Camden Rodriguez. They switched around some numbers for us with these unique jerseys. And so Camden Rodriguez now wearing number 21, 5'9", 180, an outside linebacker, and he was pretty impressive on that play. Give him a TFL, a loss of 5 for Crowell. So Coker back to work, out of the pistol. Long count for the Knights. They run it up the middle again. It's Crowell, and he's going to get stuck in the middle of the field. Amari Gilmore was raising his hand, but it was Riley Nolan that made the play there. But nice job there, Amari Gilmore, indicating to his teammates, hey, this is 3rd down. This is where we got to get off the field, guys. And this is where the Poston Butte Broncos have really not been able to slow down this St. Mary's methodical offense at any stage of the game.
Well, if they want to start him, if they want to shut him down, they have to start him right, stop him right here on 3rd down.
26 seconds to go in the stanza. 3rd and 11 for the 14-yard line. This is a possession play here for Mr. Coker and the St. Mary's Knights. And as they have all evening long, they have waited Poston Butte out at the line of scrimmage, hoping they would make a mistake, and they did that just again. One more time. And now that's going to move St. Mary's up with a free 5, so it's more manageable, Ed.
Yeah.
3rd and 6 from the 14 versus 3rd and 11 here for Mr. Coker. Wearing number 6, Jacob Coker, thrust into duty the backup quarterback role. Nick Martinez is banged up. He's the starter. The Knights hope to get him back. We have played 3 quarters out here in Santan Valley on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Moving to the 4th quarter, our score: Broncos 28, Knights 21. 4th quarter coming up next. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
What's up? I'm Archie Bradley, and I am Pit Boss.
Archie Bradley! Are you kidding me?
Pit Boss Nation just brought in the beard. Bring the heat with bigger, hotter, and heavier grilling. You do want this smoke. With 8-in-1 cooking versatility, Pit Boss is your starter, setup man, and your closer. Slide in safely with a hot and fast grill job, or go deep with the low and slow cook. With the best value on the market, Pit Boss strikes out the competition. From the Pit Boss family to yours, let's get to work.
Welcome back to the 4th quarter here in Santan Valley, just below the Superstition Mountains in a glorious setting. Over to our right, we've got the alfalfa growing, the beautiful backdrop of the mountains here. It is indeed the night sky now, but Santan Valley with so much growth out here is what an incredible part of the city that I just wasn't introduced to, Ed.
This is a beautiful area. As you mentioned, it's sprawling. So much growth here, and we've got a beautiful football field here. Great campus here on the campus of Poston Butte High School, and they've treated us like royalty out here.
They really have. Back to live action. Here's a pass out to P.J. Lewis, and the ball's incomplete. David Galindo trying to make that throw, and one of the few misfires for David Galindo, but you have to give credit where credit's due, and that's the pressure coming in, and that pressure was applied there by Justin Evans. So now we're going to have a punting situation here for the Knights. In punt formation is Joseph Begul. Back to deep for Poston Butte is Amari Gilmore. And there's a guy that you'd like to see have a chance with the football here in Amari Gilmore.
It would be nice if he could make a return.
High snap. Here comes Begul. Angles to the far sideline. It takes a high carom, and it takes a Knights bounce. Wow. St. Mary's is playing with some house money here in many cases. They've had a lot of breaks go their way in this road contest tonight. So now they had to give up the ball, and really for Coach Dane Thompson, what a stop for his defense. They finally got to stop and slow down the St. Mary's run game with that balance of their play action passing. That's what kind of hurt him over the top. But now the defense there answered and stiffened up on that drive.
Oh, it was huge for the Broncos to get a stop right there, to stop that Knights offense, and now they're up 7. If they could possibly, the Broncos could go down there and get a score, they'll be up 14 points. They'll be up 2 scores. They can get a little bit of separation on the Knights here as we're under 12 minutes left in the game.
This is big going forward here. 28-21. Just inside 12 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Delmasio back at quarterback for Poston Butte. To his left is Octavius Joe. They run it on the sweep to Keith Gray with blockers in front, and P.J. Lewis says, you're not going to go any further than this. So Mr. Gray with a 12-yard gallop on the jet sweep. Another great tackle in the open field by P.J. Lewis. In fact, P.J. Lewis had 2 interceptions here on this same field when these two teams squared off in the playoffs just a year ago. So P.J. Lewis, he's comfortable on this gridiron. He likes to play here, Ed.
But still, Keith Gray got the 12 yards off Kata Lisa and Thomas Luna, left tackle and left guard respectively. Keith Gray got those yards running off left tackle and left guard.
The lone back is Octavius Joe. 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Play action pass for Delmasio. Rolls to the far side. Here comes the pressure. He throws out down the field. The ball is going to be caught. Beautiful pass there by Delmasio. And coming out of a curl route was Poston Butte's Josh Furman, his first catch of the evening. 5'11", $150, the junior. Ran a great route, and the ball was delivered on time, on point.
He did. Dalmacio rolls out to his right. He sees Josh Furman wide open right there. He just sits it right down there, completes the pass to Furman. Nobody around him. Furman makes that catch, and they get those yards. They keep the chains moving.
Dalmacio to Furman, gain of 15, 1st and 10, Poston Butte. On the march now, working right to left, up by a touchdown. Inside 11 minutes to go now for Dalmacio. He's got Octavius Joe behind him. He gets the call here. No, he doesn't. It's Dalmacio. He's going to run it himself on the zone read. Nice little move right there. And here comes P.J. Lewis. He slips out of the tackle, and finally a host of night tacklers come over there and throw him down to the ground. Yeah, it was Luke Atkinson with the tackle there for Atkinson out of that cornerback spot. Nice defensive job by him in run support.
Yeah, really good job on him, but I love the running by Dalmacio. His determined running, again, off left tackle and left guard. They love to run on that left side, but Dalmacio was determined to get those yards, and he was not going to be deterred, and he got those yards.
Nice job of the zone read. He knew what to do. This time he's going to put it into the gut of his tailback. And falling forward this time. First carry of the night for Poston Butte. It looked like the place kicker is in on that one. Double check that one. I believe that is Juan Castaneda. So Castaneda, also their place kicker, an inside linebacker and a running back. You talk about versatility. This Poston Butte squad has a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of two-way players, sometimes a lot of three-way players with so many different jobs. Like, for instance, Octavius Joe is the running back, outside linebacker, and a kick returner. Everybody's got to have multiple roles on this football team if you want to be successful.
Yeah, Castaneda is a running back, a linebacker, and he's the place kicker. That is a trio of responsibility right there. And now Poston Butte is going to be forced to take a timeout. Savvy job there by Dane Thompson to recognize the situation, call the TO here. 9:27 to go in this contest. It's 28-21. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
Home Gate with Pit Boss. Or don't home gate with Pit Boss. Go long. Long cooks, that is. Or just, don't fumble the barbecue. Home Gate with Pit Boss. pitboss-grills.com.
Welcome back to Santan Valley, home of the Broncos here for Poston Butte. Back to work again. It's Dalmacio under center, and now one of the tailbacks is going to move. That looks like it's Castaneda. When you're the place kicker and you know they've called your number in the huddle, well, you get a little antsy back there, Ed.
Yes.
And a place kicker is always trying to, walk it off so he's got that extra mojo where he can get that rhythm into the kick. Well, Castaneda is trying to get that running rhythm right there. Instead, it's going to cost him 5 yards. They'll go back to the ground game again, and there's Joe, and Joe's going to be grabbed and thrown down. Nice tackle there by Mason Aguayo. Aguayo, a 5'8", 185-pound senior middle linebacker right there to make the play.
Textbook tackling by Mason Aguayo, just bringing down Octavius Joe. He just grabs him and just pretty much throws him down to the ground. That's the way you bring down Octavius Joe. Hit him at the point of attack and bring him down. Do not let him get any more momentum. Do not let him get any more of a bull rush on you than you'll let him.
Yeah, you got to wrap him up down low. That's a good point, Ed. 20 tackles last year for Aguayo. 3rd and 15 from the 33-yard line. Big play here for Poston Butte. Play action pass for Dalmacio. Rolls out again. He's going to stop, and he's going to just run the football. He's got the first down. Dalmacio still under the open field. 10, 5, angles to the pylon. He's going to score a touchdown. How about that for Mr. Drew Dalmacio? A 33-yard house call for the touchdown for Poston Butte. On 3rd and 15, he answers the bell, and that was outstanding, Ed Cole.
Wow, what a great individual play as Dalmacio drops back. You think he's going to pass. He rolls out to his right, but then he calls his own number. He sees something in defense that he can exploit, and my goodness, did he not exploit it. Just running down that right side, he cuts over to the middle, continues to cut over to the left, and just an incredible one-man show as he runs into the end zone for the TD.
Low snap, and Dalmacio is going to have to throw the football. He does, and the ball is too low for Joe to haul it in. Going back to the previous play for Dalmacio, I believe he went over the century mark in rushing with that touchdown run. If he didn't achieve that mark before that, but a 33-yard touchdown run for the quarterback Dalmacio, and he showed you everything there. He showed you that he was going to be a passer. You had to defend the pass for a moment. Then he saw a lot of daylight, and then he used that speed. And then once he started to run up the middle, then he just cut it across the field like you said. And then once he saw daylight and then the pylon was in reach, he housed it, put it in that second gear, and, boy, that was an impressive run. Point after try is no good for Mr. Castaneda, his first miss of the season. And it's now 34-21. And if you're Coach Jose Lucero now with David Galindo, perhaps you're going to have to open things up here with the pass game.
Yeah, 8:34 left. There's not a lot of time left. You're going to need at least 2 or 3 more possessions, so you've got to get some quick scores. And somebody, again, has to step up defensively to stop Dalmacio and Octavius Joe and Keith Gray and all the weapons that the Broncos have on offense. So, again, who's going to step up and get a quick drive down the field, get a score, because time is not on their side.
Poston Butte is 47-53 in the last decade. They've won 7 games twice and 6 games twice. They go to Lewis, and they go back to Atkinson. Atkinson to the far side, and he gets drilled. Outstanding open field tackle by Amari Gilmore. Shooting the gap on special teams, wedge busting, and then the stick on Atkinson. That was spectacular football in the open field, Ed.
Kevin, did you expect anything less from the number 1 tackler on this defense from a year ago? He's picking up from where he left off last season and what he did last week in their opener against ALA. Just Amari Gilmore is a absolute specimen, and we talked about him with head coach Dane Thompson before the game. He's getting some D2 looks because of the way he plays football, like a play like that.
Outstanding 4A all-conference performer out of Chicago, Illinois. There goes Crowell off a handoff from Coker, and the Bronco defense is getting a little bit rigid here. The running lanes are harder to come by now for St. Mary's.
And Kevin, I'm looking at the clock. It's about 8 minutes left in the game. They've got to play with a sense of desperation. Do the Knights have to on offense? They've got to be able to push this ball down the field. You're down 13 points. You're down 2 scores. You've got to get a quick score and get it back in the hands of your defense, and hopefully they can get a stop on their end.
They're going to have to pick up the tempo, no question about it. Coolier Hightower, that last tackle for Poston Butte. So they go back to Jacob Coker. Puts a man in motion. They run it to Atkinson on the inside handoff to the edge, and he'll lower his pads and drive a defender out of bounds, but the defender ends up on top of Atkinson. Well, I tell you what, it looked like the middle linebacker over there, Riley Nolan, was all over that play. The senior, 175-pounder. I mentioned he was 26 in the 4A in tackles last year with 65, with 10 of those behind the line of scrimmage. Riley Nolan is a playmaker.
Yes, he is. Kevin, I know it's hard to read with with those jerseys that they're wearing, the camouflage jerseys, but I'll take your word for it. I'm sure Riley Nolan was the guy on the spot.
Well, I know that Evans was also in the vicinity as well. There's a couple guys, but I believe it was Nolan who ended up with the assist on that play. So they go back to David Galindo, the junior signal caller, and now we're going to get a timeout taken on the field. This one's going to be taken by Jose Lucero. We'll keep it right here. Just think about it's all about the timing. Oh,
Jones, you said we keep it.
Okay, all right.
You say we keep it, we keep it.
So it's going back to some of the lower levels here for Poston Butte. Their freshman team was 4-3 last year in 2020. The juniors, the varsity, 4-2 last year, but the JV beat ALA Queen Creek. And when you look at the program that's being built here by Dane Thompson, I mentioned it was his 5th year. He's the 4th all-time head coach. He's 21-18 in his tenure here. But it's about the change of the culture, which they have now in place. And all 3 programs here, freshman, JV, and varsity, they're all running the same offense. So he's able to bring guys up from the lower levels, plug them in, and they can make an impact right away because they know the system. The familiarity with the system is significant at all 3 levels.
Oh, no question.
Even their feeder programs. So when you come to Poston Butte to play football, you know Coach T's system, and you have a chance to make an impact right away because of again, just that, your familiarity with it. David Galindo back to work, 3rd and 6 from the 24-yard line. There goes Crowell in motion. This is an empty set now for Galindo, and before we can get the ball snapped, we have another penalty marker down on the field. The crowd has picked up here. The Knights are out of Central Phoenix, and from where we are, we're about 44 miles away from Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix. We're east of there. So it's a little bit of a ways to the metropolitan area of Phoenix, Arizona. Free 5 again for St. Mary's. This has been something that's aided them all night long. This is Galindo on the quarterback keep. He's got the first down, lowers his shoulders and picks up extra yardage there as David Galindo continues to play with that physicality. Antonio Sorbo up there to make the tackle.
He's brought down by number 45, Nolan of the Broncos. Knights do pick up the first down.
Well, we had 1-5 in there for sure. I had Antonio Sarbo, and then there's Riley Nolan also wears 45. So one of those 2 5s made the play. I do believe it was Sarbo, but Riley Nolan, he's so gifted. He probably was in there as well. Give them both an assist. Why not? Galindo takes the snap, runs left, and more success running the football for David Galindo. Can he tie this time the defensive lineman with the tackle?
He's brought down by number 55, Antonio Sarbo.
Galindo continues to run the ball really well, but eventually he's got to break off a long one. Under 6 minutes to go. Again, you're down 13 points. You've got to get a quick score. So for Galindo's sake, hopefully he breaks off a long one for the Knights.
Gain of 6 that time for DG, David Galindo. Broncos showing on the run blitz. Here they come. Galindo over the middle. Ball's caught by P.J. Lewis again. P.J. Lewis will rumble down the field outside the far hash marks, just inside the numbers. But P.J. Lewis, the favorite target of the night for David Galindo, is there again, and he's going to move the chains for St. Mary's.
Okay, there we go for the Knights offense, getting a pass play from Galindo to Lewis, moving the ball a little bit quicker down the field. Yep, they're starting to line up now. They know under 5.5 minutes left to go. They got to get this ball. They've got to keep the tempo moving.
Gain of 15 yards. Again, Poston Butte showing blitz at the line of scrimmage. 4 down linemen. Here they come. They run it to Crowell. He gets through that secondary, and he gets bumped off the play just before he was going to be close to the yard mark and the yardage necessary to move the chains. But Ethan Crowell taking a couple shots out there. We mentioned it a couple times in other games. Looked like he was being pinball around down there.
Yep, but the good thing is he held on to the ball.
He held on to the rock.
Yep, did not turn it over.
2nd down and 2. Give him an 8-yard carry for Ethan Crowell, who remains in. He's flanked to the right of David Galindo. He moved to the left. This is Galindo running left. 1st down yardage, and that's going to be about it for David Galindo. He's not a true burner in Galindo,
but he's a bruiser.
And getting hot here on this drive is Riley Nolan, involved in at least 3 consecutive plays for Riley Nolan. He is now, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, right? And that's exactly what Riley Nolan is doing right here.
All-conference players make all-conference plays.
Yes, they do. Again, Galindo with all kinds of time. 1st and 10 for the Bronco 24-yard line. The ball is loose. He tried to put the ball into the hands of Ethan Crowell, and the ball was put on the carpet. And I think the Broncos are in the middle of a strum right now with the St. Mary's Knights. And let's see who's going to come away with the football. And it looked like Ethan Crowell was able to out-muscle Poston Butte's Bobby Gaitan. 34-21, 3:55 to go.
Man, that could have been disastrous for the Knights, right, Kev, if they gave that ball over?
They're living right, this Catholic school. They are living right. Crowell in motion. High snap for Galindo. Runs left. He's got the first. He's just past the initial line of scrimmage there. Running left. And the Bronco defense again there to make things difficult there. Playing a robust second half here in defensive mode here. 3:20 to go in the contest. It's 3rd and 7 from the 22-yard line. 4 down territory now for Coach Lucero and the St. Mary's Knights. Galindo with a long count. Wants to throw the football. Here comes the pressure. And Galindo has it stripped. The ball's loose. And the Poston Butte Broncos come away with it. A strip sack. Right there to make the play was Bobby Gaitan. Gaitan was there, and he recovered the football. And it was a strip sack for Poston Butte. They get the rock back with 3:01 to go in this 4th quarter. And the home fans here in Santan Valley are starting to taste it just a little bit right now, Ed.
There was no secret that David Galindo was going to get that ball, whether he was going to run it or throw the ball. So Bobby Gaitan and his group swarmed on him, forcing that fumble. And Bobby Gaitan was the man to make that take advantage of that turnover right there. That's just killer for the Knights as they were trying to drive down and potentially get a score to get within one score, but that's really killer with 3:01 left to go for the Knights to give the ball up like that.
Give credit where credit's due. The Poston Butte Bronco defense answered the challenge at the right time of this contest. They go back to the ground game again, and it looks like it's Octavius Joe trying to fight for extra yardage. Nice job on the interior there by St. Mary's. Mason Agayo with the tackle there for the Knights. But if you're Coach Dane Thompson right now, Ed, all you want to do, the clock isn't running here. The play did not run.
It didn't.
They need to run about 6 or 8 seconds off the play clock. And I think they're just going to keep this a footloose and fancy-free scenario here right now. 2:47 to go. Nobody's really complaining about that one, but somewhere along another game on a Friday night, someone is absolutely going bananas when the clock doesn't start on time.
You better believe it.
Dalmacio under center. He's got two backs behind him. They give it to Octavius Joe. Octavius Joe with some daylight. Spins out of a tackle, continues to drive forward as he's running downhill once again. Much how he started this game off in the first quarter. It's Octavius Joe again running downhill, taking everybody with him, Ed.
KD, people are grabbing at his jerseys. They're trying to bring him down. It's 3, 4, 5 guys. The entire defense pretty much is trying to bring down Joe, but he continues to churn those legs and continues to stay determined to get more and more yards, to get them further down the field and continue to keep the clock running. That's the most important part. Keep the clock running and him not turn the ball over in this crucial time.
Absolutely. A 14-yard run for Octavius Joe. He continues to play excellent football here, and as Ed pointed out, he continues to value the rock and take care of the football. That's what you need to do. 1:55 to go. Joe moves spots to the other side behind Dalmacio. Austin Hammond is the other back there. The turn to give to Joe again, running off left tackle, and that's a good guy to run behind. The right tackle is Angelo Valencia, and for Valencia, we haven't mentioned his name a lot today, but he has been very, very serviceable out there. He is one of their better linemen. He's also one of those kids that gets it done in the classroom, but Angelo Valencia was the freshman lineman of the year last year for this outstanding Poston Butte football team. For Valencia, he can play all 5 spots on the offensive line.
That's great.
So left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle for a lineman. You talk about being versatile. We mentioned the versatility of both these teams here early in the first quarter, but it's like a lot of these utility guys, but you see baseball where a certain guy will play, 7 different positions, he'll do everything but pitch and catch, but you see now these utility guys in football, it's a thing, Ed.
Oh, yeah. And it makes you more valuable for a football team because for a guy like Angelo Valencia, they can plug him in at so many different positions, as you mentioned. Should injury arise or you need to move him around the offensive line for other reasons, you can count on your guy to go wherever you need him to go.
No doubt about that. Dalmacio under center. He's got 2 backs behind him. They run it on the far side to Hammond, and he started that sweep to the right, then just cut it up towards the middle of the field, and he got taken out right there. Ed Doherty was the head coach for the St. Mary's Knights for 6 years. And if you heard that name, Ed Doherty, of any kind of recency, it's because of the Gridiron Club and Don Kyle and guys like Rob Yowell. These guys have brought back the Doherty Award, the Doherty Award is given to the best high school player across the land. It is similar to the Heisman Trophy here, but it's given to a high school athlete in the great state 48. Ed Doherty, the award is named after. And for Ed Doherty, again, 6 years at the helm of St. Mary's football, so instrumental in the early years of high school football all across the gamut. But for Ed Doherty, he went 53-14-1 in his tenure at St. Mary's. And again, you just think about the Ed Doherty Award, Bijan Robinson winning that award a season ago, but a special shout-out to the Gridiron Club, who are responsible for bringing back this notoriety to Ed Doherty, and how deserved it is. But a class act that you are, Don Kyle, Rob Yowell of the Gridiron Club, respect. Much respect. 1:29 to go, 34-21. Dalmasio on the play fake. He throws, ball's caught out in the flat. The tight end once again by Connor Lopez. He stays on his feet, 20, 15, cut it back inside the 10, 5, touchdown Connor Lopez. 53-yard touchdown run. What a play there to finish this one up here. It's 40-21. Dalmasio once again moved out to the outside of the pocket on that rollout once again. That's where he likes to throw the football. He had his man Connor Lopez in the flat, and then Connor Lopez did Connor Lopez types things, breaking tacklers, shedding tacklers, making cutbacks, and housing one 53 yards later.
You know, Kevin, it's amazing that Drew Dalmasio threw one pass last season, and he comes out in this game, and he looks like Joe Montana. He can roll out there and just complete passes to Connor Lopez like that, and he gets a touchdown like that. What an incredible play from Dalmasio to Lopez when he's just basically trying to run the clock out.
Out of a Dalmasio hole, the Juan Castaneda point after try is good. 1:16 to go in the fourth quarter. It's Poston Butte 41, St. Mary's 21. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. We welcome you back inside the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. 41-21, 1:16 to go. St. Mary's running out of time here. It's a low kick. It's a loose football, and Poston Butte may have come away with it. Let's see who's going to win this scrum down low. And St. Mary's has won all the scrums here. For St. Mary's, they've had all the breaks. They've had a lot of penalties they could cash in, and they played a good ball game. But Poston Butte, the depth of their roster, their playmakers, just too much here tonight. And Octavius Joe has been special, but Dalmasio has looked the part too. He likes to throw the football, and you see that a lot with Patrick Mahomes. Guys want to throw the football outside the pocket. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best at it in the business, but that's a thing too, Ed. These young kids, they watch those games, they watch the film, they study that stuff, and they say, hey, I can do that too. And Dalmasio looked good, but you got to credit Connor Lopez. He did an awful lot after the catch there. Crowell to the outside, and nobody's home. What a tackle there by Poston Butte's Andre Banks-Taylor. He's had himself a couple of nice tackles there. Another TFL for Taylor. 55 seconds to go. It's a 41-21 ball game. You know, the other Pat we mentioned Pat Lavin and all the Pats and whatnot, but Pat Farrell, 23 years as the front man for the St. Mary's Knights. He went 209 and 67, state champs in 1995, of course, 84-85, but 14-0 in 1995, regarded as one of the best teams ever in the state of Arizona, led by Pat Farrell. What a team. State champions. They beat Horizon 33-7 at Sun Devil Stadium that year. Pat Farrell went 14-0 for the St. Mary's Knights. Pat Farrell and the Knights, they had themselves a tremendous football program. They were revered as a power back in the early years. 41-21, 10 seconds to go. The countdown here for the Poston Butte fans. Let's see if the Knights can get one more snap off, and Coach Lucero says we're good to go. Our final score here in Santan Valley, as the Poston Butte Broncos even up the books in 2021. They win it 41-21. They're now 1-1 on this young campaign. And what a night for Octavius Joe. 4 touchdowns for him, and great quarterback play from Drew Dalmasio.
Yeah, just incredible offensive display by the Broncos for Octavius Joe to run as strong as Kevin mentioned for 4 touchdowns, and Drew Dalmasio comes out here. He hits all of his weapons, including Connor Lopez right here at the end, just a few moments ago to make the final nail in the coffin for Poston Butte against St. Mary's. Just a really good comeback victory, a bounce-back victory over that loss they had last week against ALA, for them to come back here and exact a little bit of revenge from that playoff game. I know these two teams are different, but still, I know they were still thinking about what happened here just last November.
Yeah, you got to believe that was in the back of their mind. Payback's a mother, but, it really, this was a great first half. And it was a 21-21 tie at the break. We talk about those adjustments at halftime, and I'll tell you what, Coach Dane Thompson and his entire staff did a great job of making adjustments. They took away the run game for St. Mary's in the second half. They really basically pinned their ears back and forced them to throw the football, and when they did, they were able to make some plays. So we're going to take it down to James Poovey for more on the field. Here's
Or waiting to get coach.
We'll continue to monitor JP down on their field, but St. Mary's had a chance, but some unforced errors for them in the second half. And then you just have to credit the playmaking ability by Joe, and then guys that came in there late. Amari Gilmore made a great play. We talked about their quarterback. Their line play though tonight was just stout, right?
No question.
Justin Fisher, Kate Elisa was outstanding. We saw Angelo Valencia do some things. Thomas Luna, and then getting in and making the contribution defensively was David Comedy, and Comedy a nice job too. And he's just a sophomore, so good stuff here.
So, Kevin, we've got to do our sponsor, Pit Boss, is asking us to do the player of the game. So, who do you think it should be? For me, my vote is Octavius Joe with the 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
who do you have?
I like David Galindo. I thought he played an unsung hero's role tonight. Baptismal by fire, playing that quarterback position. He got a few reps last week, but you can't take anything away from the hometown team. Octavius Joe, 4 touchdowns, over 125 yards rushing unofficially. He was a dude tonight, and then his guys too up front. As we just mentioned, all the fellas. It was a lot of team success for Poston Butte. I'm sure Mr. Joe will tell you that same thing. His line was special tonight, but Octavius was outstanding, and he was special.
Yeah, let's give some love to Thomas Luna, the left guard, the left tackle, Kate Elisa, center, Justin Fisher, right guard, Bobby Gaitan, and the right tackle, Angelo Valencia. Those guys made it possible for Dalmasio and Octavius Joe to do everything they did offensively, and also Connor Lopez to get that touchdown right at the end when they were trying to run the ball out. Connor Lopez says, you know what? No, I'm not going to run the ball out. I think I got a chance to score. I'm going to go ahead and score.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff you saw. There were some trade-offs there. There was some balance. We saw some flea flickers in this game. It was well coached by both teams. Just outstanding play, really here. A good home win for Poston Butte, and as you mentioned, they were able to take care of business from that tough defeat last season. So they got the redemption they were looking for here, but they got back in the win column, and they got some playmakers. They really do.
Oh, yeah. And on St. Mary's side, give them – we talked about it at nauseum during the game. Give them credit for scheduling Brophy and scheduling to come here to Poston Butte. They haven't been at home since. They played 2 straight games on the road. This is what Coach Lucero is trying to do. He is trying to grow this program, and the best way to grow it is by playing quality, talented football teams like Brophy and Poston Butte. It's only going to help this football team grow. I know it sucks to lose by 20, but it's a growing process. They'll go back and break down film and see what went right and what went wrong, and they'll get ready for the next game.
Yeah, he's a pro's pro. He's going to continue to coach and learn about his team. They're going to make tweaks, and hopefully they get Nick Martinez back. He's a difference maker, obviously a player that's been recruited by many schools, but Poston Butte, they're going to stay at home here. They get to take on Canyon Del Oro. I think they got crushed this past week, but we are on Thursday night.
You'll face that second quarter, and it was a matter of just kind of getting in the fight and responding and playing hard, the kind of thing that, Jose does a great job over there. Those kids play so hard, and they lost their quarterback, and they changed basically their whole offense in 1 week to just like ground and pound, and they did a great job. That coaching staff had those guys ready to fight and battle, and it took a little bit of little adjustments for us to like get back in there and work hard. But I was real proud of the way they responded in the second half.
Credit to you guys as well, Coach, because you guys had to face basically a different ball club than you had seen on film previously. Talk about your stud running back in his performance tonight, Octavius Joe. He has got some wheels.
Yeah, he ran the ball really hard. He was bottled up that first week, and he was frustrated with himself because have that many live carries. And so it's just a matter of time, and I think every time he carries the ball, he's going to get better and better. And, it couldn't, great kid. Hard worker, no nonsense, down to business, just an awesome kid to be around. He's always smiling, having fun, no matter what he does. So I'm glad that he had a big night. And, his offensive line, love to see him have some success because they were working their tails off for him.
Coach, congratulations again on the win. Thanks for having us out again for Thursday Night Football, and we look forward to watching you guys the rest of the way through the season.
Thank you for being here. This is a great experience, especially for the military night. Shout out to all our heroes that were here. It's awesome. It's awesome to have this kind of experience for the kids and stuff like that. Had a bunch of military people that got recognized and first responders. So it's really awesome that you guys were out here for this kind of thing.
We'll echo that sentiment as well, Coach. Shout out to our military men and women who make all this tonight possible for us to come out here and have fun with the game of high school football. Congratulations again on the win tonight. Poston Butte gets the victory here, avenges the playoff loss from last season. 41-21 the final tonight. Back up to you guys upstairs.
Thank you, James, and we certainly appreciate Coach Dane Thompson out there. Very humble in victory, paying homage to Octavius Joe with the 4 touchdowns, and he certainly mentioned that offensive line that we mentioned on several occasions tonight. Those guys were dudes. They dominated the football game in that second half. They talk about making adjustments at the break, and they did just that. So, without any further ado, next week from Vail, Tucson, South Point Catholic, and Cienega, we'll have all the action for you at 6:50 on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. For our outstanding crew, for Kat Jones, Caitlin Jones, our technical producer, Mr. Greg Jones, for James Poovey, and my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now. Our final score were the Poston Butte Broncos winning 41-21.